Here's who I think has the toughest regional or quadrant of the bracket, and therefore the toughest path to Kansas City. Number 3 overall seed, Texas. I think this is an even more difficult quadrant than the 4 seed Pitt's quadrant. The top 4 seeds in Texas's quadrant of the bracket are Texas, of course, Stanford, Wisconsin, and Indiana. That alone, I think, is the most loaded group of any group of teams in any quadrant, and this is why. If you watch this Stanford team this season, you undeniably know how good this team is. Every big matchup, they surprised me with how well their youth played and just how talented they are. You might remember they played Texas this season and just barely missed pulling off the reverse sweep as they lost in 5 in extra points. They had 10 aces on the match. This is a team that will push you from the service line. They are led by one of the most experienced and well-rounded players in the country in Elia Rubin. They have great middles and a strong defense. Not to mention, this team beat Pitt and Louisville this season. Stanford is not an easy team to get by. Then there's Wisconsin. Now, last month I remember saying anyone who draws this Wisconsin team in the postseason is unlucky because once Charlie Furbringer returned from injury at the end of the regular season, they started absolutely rolling. After the loss to Nebraska, they won 9 straight to end the regular season. Mimi Collier is a baller on the outside. She can take over a match. They've got Carter Booth in the middle and a coach that has won a national title. You cannot count out the Badgers. And then there's Indiana in the midst of its best season in program history, certainly playing with nothing to lose, which is always dangerous. And then on top of all of that, Penn State, the reigning national champions, are headed to Austin for the first weekend of the tournament as an 8th seed in the bracket. I know this team did not perform to expectations and lost their star setter earlier this year, but we are still talking Penn State, who could get hot in the tournament, has a player like Kennedy Martin, one of the best arms in the country, and one of the best liberos in the country. It shouldn't be an issue for Texas, but the other 4 national seeds don't have to play the reigning champs potentially in the second round. If I had to pick a second toughest regional or quadrant of the bracket, it's actually number 1, Nebraska's. Again, I don't think it'll be a problem for the Huskers by any means, but if this was anyone else's quadrant, it could have been. They have Louisville, which is Danny Busboom Kelly's former program, and a Texas A&M team that I may have picked to advance to the national semifinals if it weren't for the fact that they'd have to go through Nebraska. And you've got Kansas and Miami, who has one of the best players in the country in Flor Marie Heredia-Colón. So those are my picks for the toughest quadrants. Let me know who you think has the toughest path to the national championship in the comments.